In fairness, though, I mean, The View has to be, if you average out The View hosts, among the dumbest people on television. And so it's like they say the thing that people are thinking, but they say it very directly, so they expose whatever truth.
He's ideologically driven, and they have blinders on, for sure. Is certainly not the brightest person. And what she just said just doesn't make any sense. It's just like so silly to say. It's not a well thought out. It's like if you had an idea for a premise and it was totally baked and half baked, and you went on stage with it and just fucking, it's nothing.
Just
there.
Go for it. Yeah,
there's nothing there.
I mean, you're married, Tom. You're married. If your husband's doing something, if he's allegedly doing something like this, you guys would know if your wives were up to some nefarious stuff. Let's just not forget who she is. She's been for years lecturing America about morality, inequality, systemic failures, and look at her track record. How many times does she have to go on in the past 2 months and look at the camera and do a legal apology for all the stuff that she said on the show?
It started like any other morning, coffee in hand, scrolling through the headlines. But one name jumped off the screen: Sunny Hostin. Not for her fiery debates on The View, but for something far more personal. Her husband, Dr. Emmanuel Manny Hostin, was suddenly tied to a federal lawsuit. That's the spark. A respected surgeon accused in one of New York's largest RICO fraud cases, worth $450 million. Nearly 200 defendants, accusations of kickbacks and unnecessary surgeries, and in the middle of it all, the husband of one of television's loudest moral voices. Everything you're about to hear comes straight from public reports, legal filings, and on-air statements. And in this case, the picture gets a lot darker once you look at Sunny Hostin's husband and the lawsuit with his name on it.
Sunny Hostin, her husband accused of committing federal insurance fraud in a lawsuit. Dr. Emmanuel Manny Hostin, an orthopedic surgeon and husband of The View co-host Sunny Hostin, is accused in December lawsuit fraudulently billing insurance. By the way, this is a Daily Caller story I'm reading. The lawsuit alleges Hostin knowingly provided fraudulent medical and other healthcare services in exchange for kickbacks and or compensation, and names him among nearly 200 defendants in one of New York's largest RICO cases.
Within days, the details spilled out. Dr. Emmanuel Manny Hostin, a respected orthopedic surgeon and longtime husband of The View's Sunny Hostin, was named in a December lawsuit as one of nearly 200 defendants in what's being called one of New York's largest RICO cases. The allegations: fraudulent billing, unnecessary surgeries, and kickbacks disguised as investments. According to court filings, Hostin's practice allegedly targeted taxi, Uber, and Lyft drivers, patients from low-impact accidents who somehow ended up on operating tables. Picture this: routine fender benders turning into arthroscopic surgeries, insurance companies footing the bill, and money changing hands like chips at a high-stakes poker game.
According to a new lawsuit obtained by Page Six, the orthopedic surgeon was one of 200 defendants named in one of the biggest racketeer influenced and corrupt organization cases ever filed in New York. Emmanuel was accused of federal insurance fraud and, quote, getting kickbacks by performing surgery and billing a company that insured taxi companies and Uber and Lyft drivers.
Page Six confirmed the scale, reporting that Hostin was among nearly 200 defendants accused of federal insurance fraud and kickbacks tied to a sprawling $450 million scheme. And here's where the irony hits hardest. For years, Sunny usually tells America how to behave, but this time it's her own family in the spotlight. Subscribe now, because you won't believe where this goes next.
I agree with mostly everything that's been said. I mean, we know that, only about 31% of Americans trust our healthcare system. We have a terrible healthcare system. And, doctors suffer because of big corporations as well. Doctors that want to do good, like my husband, operates on someone even though they don't have insurance, and then has to sue health insurance companies to get paid for the work that he's been trained his whole life to do.
The lawsuit isn't just another medical dispute. It's being prosecuted under the RICO Act, a law originally designed to dismantle organized crime. Think mob bosses, gangsters, entire families brought down in court. Only this time, the cast isn't wearing leather jackets in smoky back rooms. It's surgeons in white coats, operating under bright hospital lights.
Just The View. Just a person the Sunny Hostin that we all love from one of my favorite shows on The View. And it's always, Tom, what'd you always say? It's always the people that always do the pointing, and it always comes back to them, all right? So when you said this is the largest RICO case ever filed in the state of New York, you guys wrap that around your brain. That's bigger than the mafia.
But here's where the story takes another turn. American Transit, the insurer at the center of this case, insists it was bled dry by doctors who billed for treatments that never should have happened. They claim routine fender benders somehow turned into pricey surgeries, draining millions from their accounts. Imagine getting charged for a luxury car wash when all you did was drive through a puddle. That's how they describe it.
When I was on there, I really had no idea how it was going to land with the audience. So I just went in there, did my thing. I had no idea what to expect. I didn't know who Sunny Hostin was. I actually still really don't know. So I wasn't expecting necessarily for her to kind of try to ambush me in that way and attack my character in that way. And I responded to it in the moment, as I do.
Well, it is the show that people love to hate.
Yes, that's true. That's true.
They get so much hate watching and hate watching viral clips of them saying ridiculous things. I mean, it is a rabies infested hen house.
and at the same time, it seemed like the most interesting part was their audience seemed to be on my side.
Yes.
But the other side pushes back. Hostin's lawyers call it a blanket smear, a desperate move from an insurer on the edge of collapse. And fans online are quick to note that insurance giants don't exactly have spotless records. They've been accused for years of underpaying doctors and tying patients up in red tape. So instead of good versus evil, it feels like two heavyweights in the same ring. And that leaves the public asking, is this really the unveiling of a massive healthcare scam, or just an insurer's last attempt to cover its own cracks? But here's where the storm really hits home, because while the courtroom battles rage, Sunny Hostin herself is about to face a spotlight harsher than any studio light. Stay with us. This is where the hypocrisy gets exposed.
Anna went in a different direction. But I love the fact that, you know, Manny is younger and he's
How much younger is he?
Just a little bit.
He's like 1 year, isn't he? Like a month or a year or 10 years?
5 years. It's more than a year.
Oh.
Anyway, it's not about me. I think
no.
I think that it's very helpful that he's handy, and when we travel, I'm not picking up any bags. He's the one that's hefting them overhead. He
Exactly.
throws the garbage out.
Right.
He does the heavy stuff.
The studio lights once flattered Sunny Hostin as she joked on The View about her husband Manny. He's the one who carries the bags, takes out the trash, does the heavy lifting. Laughter filled the room, her image polished, the outspoken legal mind with the perfect partner. But then came the headlines. Manny wasn't described as the handy husband anymore, but as one of nearly 200 defendants in a $450 million fraud case. The same man she painted as reliable was suddenly carrying accusations of unnecessary surgeries and kickbacks.
All I do is see clips. I know
It's just like twice a
but
day.
here's all I hear from her. America's violent. America's racist. America's bad. Okay. I challenge you, Sonny, and this is Konstantin Kisin actually was saying something about this. Find me a country that's not racist. Find me a country anywhere in the world that wasn't founded on violence. Find me a country that is perfect. Find me a country that doesn't have any issues. So when you're comparing America to Utopia, yeah, we're going to look pretty bad. But if you compare America to literally every country on the history of the world, we're doing pretty damn good.
Yeah.
And not only are we pretty damn good, we're the greatest country to ever exist.
The irony wasn't lost on viewers. For years, Sunny called out politicians and celebrities for hypocrisy. Now fans say the tables have turned. Clips of her fiery speeches are replayed side by side with news of the lawsuit, sparking endless comment threads. Some see her silence as the ultimate contradiction. Others argue she's become the very example she used to dissect.
The Holocaust, World War III, and slavery. And I don't know if you guys forgot, she was on that PBS show, Finding Your Roots. They did the background check. Her great-grandfather owned slaves.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
It's like the biggest hypocrites.
And as if on cue, Joe Rogan delivered his punchline. The View? A rabies-infested henhouse. The audience on his side erupted. Memes spread overnight, and fans treated it like the perfect twist. For them, reality itself had turned Sunny's brand into satire.
Sunny has built a career that blends legal expertise with a strong media presence. Before becoming a familiar face on television, she worked as a federal prosecutor, handling cases that ranged from child exploitation to white-collar crime.
Before she ever joined daytime TV, Sunny Hostin built her name as a federal prosecutor, handling cases that stretched from child exploitation to financial crime. Later, as CNN's legal analyst and then The View's resident voice on justice, she became known for confronting scandals head-on. Her career was built on speaking truth to power. But now, silence. As her husband's name circles through one of New York's biggest RICO lawsuits, fans have noticed the quiet. Online forums buzz with speculation. Some believe Sunny is protecting her image, carefully avoiding words that could backfire. Others suggest she's shielding her family, waiting for lawyers to map out the next move. And a few whisper that maybe the silence itself is telling.
Emmanuel Hostin is a prominent orthopedic surgeon with years of experience in sports medicine and orthopedic surgery. He's built a respected reputation in the medical field, working with a variety of patients, including athletes and high-profile individuals. His professional career has largely remained outside of the public eye, but his marriage to Sunny Hostin has brought him occasional media attention. The couple has been together for over 2 decades, raising 2 children while maintaining demanding careers.
On paper, Emmanuel Hostin is the picture of success. A seasoned orthopedic surgeon, experienced in sports medicine, serving celebrities and everyday patients alike. For decades, his work stayed outside the spotlight until his marriage to Sunny brought him occasional media attention. But now, that spotlight feels more like an interrogation lamp. The allegations against him strike at a deeper wound. Americans' crumbling faith in their healthcare system. Only about 31% of the public still trusts it, and who can blame them?
Emmanuel Hostin's name surfaced in legal documents related to an alleged insurance fraud scheme, sparking widespread media coverage and speculation. The lawsuit claims that he, along with several others, engaged in fraudulent practices connected to medical billing and insurance claims. According to reports, the allegations suggest that financial gains were made through questionable procedures and inflated costs. While Emmanuel has not been formally charged with a crime, the lawsuit has raised serious questions about his professional conduct and reputation.
On one side, doctors accused of performing unnecessary surgeries to pad invoices. On the other, insurance giants notorious for denying care and squeezing patients with loopholes. It's a clash where everyone claims to be the victim, yet the patient is always the pawn. In that sense, this lawsuit isn't just about one surgeon. It's about a system that too often looks less like healthcare and more like high-stakes business theater.
I've been waiting my whole life for this one. Orthopedic surgeon and husband for The View host Sunny Hostin has been named in a federal lawsuit alleging insurance fraud. She got on television. She got in. She run these women. Tell me why she got her husband is named in a lawsuit in insurance fraud, and I'm gonna show you exhibit. Let me say exhibit B. Can you show this to the jury?
You know, operates on someone even though they don't have insurance. And they're talking about threatening him with insurance fraud. I would say you could get about 20 years in prison, so that's a death sentence for him.
Whether or not Manny Hostin is ever found guilty, the bigger story is already written. A $450 million lawsuit, nearly 200 defendants, settlements piling up. It's being described as one of the largest medical fraud cases in New York's history. But beyond the numbers, the trial is holding up a mirror to America's broken healthcare system. Fans online frame it in stark terms. Is healthcare about healing people or gaming numbers? Doctors accused of kickbacks. Insurers accused of dodging responsibility. Trust collapsing under the weight of both. One commentator put it bluntly, if this is justice, why does it feel like a TV drama?
Sure is ironic that she's up there. So, but if she didn't really know what was going on, right, which is what she's probably going to say later, I had no idea what my husband and his associates were doing. We'll wait and see what that is, but I think it's pretty freaking ironic.
It's the kind of irony fans can't stop pointing out. As one panelist put it, if she didn't know what was going on, that's probably what she'll say later. Oh, I had no idea what my husband and his associates were doing. The words hung in the air like foreshadowing in a courtroom drama. Online, some viewers joked it sounded less like a defense and more like a trailer for the next episode. But then came a twist, straight from Sunny herself. In an earlier segment on The View, she argued that doctors that want to do good, like my husband, operate even when patients don't have insurance, then have to sue companies to get paid. To her fans, it was a passionate defense of struggling doctors. To her critics, it now sounds like she had already cracked open the door on the very allegations filling 700 pages of legal filings. The irony wasn't lost. Had she accidentally ratted out her own husband live on air?
Sunny Hostin's husband, Emmanuel Hostin, has been accused of federal insurance fraud in a new lawsuit. He is one of 200 defendants named in one of the biggest racketeering, influence, and corrupt organizations as a RICO cases ever filed in New York. But wait, Sunny might have accidentally ratted on her own husband live on air before this.
And we have a terrible healthcare system, and doctors suffer because of big corporations as well. Doctors that want to do good, like my husband, operates on someone even though they don't have insurance, and then has to sue health insurance companies to get paid for the work that he's been trained his whole life to do.
Oh, that was her take after Luigi Mangione got locked up. She said that on air.
In the courtroom, Manny Hostin's name may be just one among nearly 200, but outside, the headlines tell a different story. This isn't only about a surgeon in Manhattan or the co-host of a talk show. With a $450 million price tag, it's being called one of the largest medical fraud cases in New York's history, bigger than some mafia takedowns.
It is meant to intimidate and harass doctors from collecting for care given to American Transit insurers and their passengers. He said that Hostin has an impeccable record, adding, American Transit has rushed into the lawsuit without ever conducting an examination of Dr. Hostin's or expressing any concerns to his lawyers. The real story here is about an insurance carrier abusing the legal system to limit and restrict healthcare benefits to its insurers and their passengers and write off its proper obligations. And then here is an actual copy of the filing where they list all of the doctors involved in this lawsuit.
Viewers online are already framing it like a Netflix drama. Settlements piling up, filings stretching nearly 700 pages, characters switching roles between villain and victim. Yet the unease runs deeper. If a law designed to bring down mob bosses is now being used on doctors, what does that say about where trust in medicine has gone?
Because we have to actually confront these questions head on. We need to have people that have enough courage courage without risk is not courage.
What you're saying is not hyperbole.
No, these are facts.
Yeah.
These are documented facts.
And again, because it's a person like Donald Trump, you get people thinking, like, if you could stop Hitler by any means necessary, wouldn't you stop Hitler?
And that's the sting for Sunny Hostin. After years of positioning herself as a voice of moral clarity on national television, she now faces the uncomfortable reality that her own family name is in the middle of one of New York's largest fraud cases. Rogan's critique cuts deeper because it frames the moment as more than gossip. It's a test of credibility, of whether the same standards Sunny demanded from others can withstand the glare now fixed on her. From Rogan's sharp jabs at The View to the courtroom storm surrounding Dr. Emmanuel Hostin, this story has unfolded like a drama with no easy heroes or villains. What began as late-night punchlines about hypocrisy quickly spiraled into one of the largest RICO cases in New York, pulling in nearly 200 defendants and raising uncomfortable questions about trust in American healthcare. Along the way, the spotlight turned not only on Sunny Hostin's marriage, but on the broader system, where patients often wonder if they're being treated as people or as numbers on a balance sheet. The bigger question is, after this, will audiences still see Sunny Hostin as a credible voice on television, or has this controversy permanently shifted how she's perceived? Share your thoughts below, because this conversation is only just beginning. This video features commentary based on publicly aired segments from Joe Rogan and verified media coverage involving Sunny Hostin and related news events. All references are drawn from public sources. No private or speculative information is included. The content fully complies with YouTube's community guidelines and fair use policy, intended for public commentary, media critique, and political analysis. And if you enjoyed this perspective, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss what's coming next. Thanks for watching.